All right. Finally got this going and rolling at long last indeed. It looks like I've been encountering some issues due to the fact that I've never ever done a actual proper live um, talk with this thingy. So please forgive me if if it's been a little bit of a back and forth. But yo, man, believe me, if y'all frustrated, I have been frustrated. As you can see, this has indeed been a rather interesting start of Monday quality talks, indeed. So, family, I took quite a moment off from Monday quality talks, and initially in its initial format, it was actually called Monday Talks, and I was streaming mostly from Instagram Live, and since I'm trying to centralize everything through YouTube and have the whole community gravitate around this platform, it felt rather auspicious to just do everything here in one place so that y'all can just find everything in every respective playlist, um, tailored for each shows and brands. So, wow, here we go. Who's calling? Let's see how this is working. Yes, here we go. Sorry. Papa Kesha, if you're connected, let me see. Let's communicate maybe through the chat. But yeah, so what I was trying to say is that it's better to centralize everything here in one specific area, and so yeah, welcome to Monday Quality Talks. A rather sketchy beginning. I had warned you. This is the first episode, and it's mostly introductory and nothing really to be taken too seriously. Hopefully, the quality is not too bad. This is not the original setup I had thought of for the show, but given that the initial test that I did ran well, and then when it was time to go live, which is usually the case, everything kind of went south. Well, nonetheless, we're here. And so, what I wanted to first of all say is that I am tremendously grateful for your precious support, rather precious support indeed. It's really been an amazing experience just migrating from Instagram to YouTube, and really coming sort of like full circle was the whole experience. So every Mondays I'm going to be doing these Monday quality talks. The idea is to, of course, talk about various subjects, touching on spirituality, life, love, etc., etc. The whole shebang, and also invite some guests as time comes, and hopefully once this whole technology is a little bit more mastered as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to be doing a little bit more test runs with it. But it's an interesting experience. Definitely a lot to learn from it, and well, look. Without further ado, let me jump into the whole thing and talk about I think something that is important, which is mental health, right? It seems like in these very, very challenging times, we are all dealing with so many changes in our lives, losing so many people, left and right. Obviously, I'm not saying anything new, nothing that you're not, aware of. And it's kind of hard to find your balance, to find some sort of meaning in all of this. But at the same time, I feel like it's it's kind of complicated to for somebody who doesn't necessarily have the um, spirited approach to the whole thing to find a meaning. Simply because you have got to really, really try to be at peace as much as possible with this overall dynamic of things. You know, it's not something you can control. It's not something you can decide when it's going to stop. But, you know, we can decide what we're going to do about how we're going to be sort of looking at the whole situation and how we're going to allow those various, you know, unexpected changes to come about, bringing those negative impacts we may see on a daily basis. And one of the practice that I think I've been doing, and that's been really, really, really helping me is this idea of really giving thanks. This idea of being in a state of gratitude. You may not necessarily always feel like you want to be grateful for anything, but the simple fact that, you know, I'm breathing, I'm healthy, you know, I cannot claim any, you know, sort of like illness. Thank God. This makes me feel utterly blessed and very much, you know, how do you call this? Fortunate. Very, very fortunate. So I feel like honestly the concept of giving thanks gets a little bit more complicated when you you are dealing with illnesses, when you are dealing with, you know, mental issues of sort, when you are dealing with things that are beyond your control. These are things that are utterly complicated, and you know, I'm not pretending to know what to do in this case. I just know what I have been practicing, which is pretty much the concept of not only giving thanks but also practicing a certain type of ritual, which also consists of, you know, when I wake up, breathe in, breathe out. You know, try to let the day sink in. You know, as you literally, you know, opening your eyes, the thoughts that should come to your mind or that would come to my mind, you know, a couple of years ago were like, you know, what a shitty day this is gonna be, or, you know, some negative things that didn't have nothing to do, you know, with actually how my day was going to be unfolding. And by also projecting that energy, I think I was definitely impacting in a very negative way, you know, the overall experience of my day. And so when you look at this and you realize that you are really in command of what is happening, as weird as and as off as it might feel and it might be, you really are in command. You really are in control. And so you allowing yourself to become a victim of choices that you've made or choices that you didn't want to make, which eventually will always have an impact. You know, that's the thing. Like we always hope and always pray that, you know, what's going to be sort of coming our way is, whether we make choices or not, is always going to be, or we want these outcomes to be what we want them to be. Obviously, that's very much unlikely. Even though you can indeed affect your reality in a positive way, and it definitely can be, you know, if you know how to trigger, your perception, and sort of like orientate your vision towards a specific direction, you can impact your life in a very massive and get tremendous changes and progress. So I would say this. Um, in not trying to make it a long conversation. This is the first, installment here on YouTube. So, it's just to get get us kind of acquainted a little bit. But I would say this, where you put your attention is where your actions or where the energy will actually be going. So be very careful as to exactly how you think about things. The quality of your thoughts obviously is number one. The quality of your actions, and of course none of us are perfect, so we're all trying to find and make sense and have some sort of um, find some sort of meaning to the actions that we take on every day. And in that process, it's utterly important to really stand as much as possible, in a state of confidence, in a state of trust, that what you are embarking yourself on, the path that you're on, is one that will definitely, absolutely be leading you, even if it's not a straight line, it will be leading you to the ultimate goal. You're going to have good moments, you're going to have not so good moments, you're going to have, experiences that feel very challenging and at times leading you to want to drop the ball. But at the same time, these are the very experiences that will shape you, that will sharpen you, that will lead you to eventually, if you really find it in you, obviously, to embrace these challenges, it will lead you to actually be prosperous in so many amazing ways. So, family, as I say, this this is the first installment on YouTube. This was a little bit of an introduction of what I feel um, uh, to share with you as far as my practice when it comes to dealing with these really complicated times that have a very drastic and dramatic effect on our mental health, and consequently on the overall health of our livelihood and people around us. The healthiness um, of our relationships with ourselves, with others. You know, it's utterly important to look after that. You are the most important thing. And I know for some of you who are genuine, sorry, and who always think about others, put others before you, might be difficult. If you're an empath and all that. But how good of an empath are you if you're not looking after yourself, right? So don't forget. If you're not good, other people around you cannot be. So look after yourself, treat yourself with love and respect, and if you fail to do that at times, it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. All right, you'll be good. It's just a matter of being patient and just trying to find some sort of acceptation about things. It is really hard to accept. It is really hard to let go of things that sometimes are negative for us, but we are so attached to them because that's what feels safe. Trust me, once you get rid of these things, man, your pathway is cleared and straightforward. So trust the process, fam. This was a quick little introduction to Monday quality quality talks. Yes, Papa Kesha. What a frustrating thing, but I noticed. I think I understood exactly, or more or less some of the mistakes and the errors that I have here in the system. I thought I had set it up properly, but I have to definitely rearrange certain things. I was trying to operate the whole show from the laptop, and yeah, it didn't work out because it's using a lot of CPU. So I think I'm going to migrate very soon to Ecamm, just like you, and hopefully get a better and more fluid show. And crossing fingers that I'll be able to do that by next week. Otherwise, we're here figuring it out. We live and we learn, and if we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. And as my good brother Keisha says, try to do it as much as you can yourself. And it's true. It's the ultimate truth. So again, coming back to the concept of working on your happiness and your by happiness I mean by on the healthiness of your mind and your spirit. No one can bring you happiness more than yourself. And as weird as it sounds and strange it might sound, it's the number one truth. But we'll get to elaborate on that soon. This was a little introduction to I was going to say quarantine rules again, but to Monday Quality Talks. I'm so used to running the show on Fridays here that I'm confusing the two. So every Mondays, this is going to be the rendezvous, 10 p.m. Portugal time. And of course, Fridays, your usual rendezvous, Quarantine Grooves with yours truly, Boddhi Satva. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you, Papa K, for supporting your brother. This has been indeed the third attempt that we managed to make work. A few things that can be amended and that will be amended, but for the most part, I think we will get there. Thank you for your indulgence and for your patience, and see you next Monday. But before that, see you indeed next Friday for Quarantine Grooves. Blessings, family. Peace.